Mr. Vakarakis is downbeat. 200 years ago, everyone loved Greece, he says.
Downbeat refers to a pessimistic attitude, similar to how upbeat refers to an optimistic attitude. The idea of upbeat and downbeat, it comes from music, where the last sound in a sequence of sounds would be either up or down. So it went da-da-da-da-da, that's upbeat. If it went da-da-da-da-da, that's downbeat. So upbeat music would tend to be more lively, downbeat music would tend to be more depressing. So this idea got carried over into the idea of optimism and pessimism. So sometimes it's better to be upbeat, sometimes it's better to be downbeat, but more typically people will get depressed over something, they'll naturally become downbeat, and then it becomes self-fulfilling, and then they'll try to get themselves to become more upbeat and optimistic. If you look at Shakespeare, you'll see that some of the plays have happy endings, so they're pretty upbeat. Other plays are tragedies, and they're downbeat. And strangely enough, the movies that are more downbeat, they tend to be more popular than the ones that are upbeat, which is understandable, I suppose, because tragedy is a very common event. Most of the time, just in general, people want to promote the stock market to go up. But there's a certain type of investor, these people are called bears, and they typically will talk very downbeat. They'll say, oh, the stocks are doing horribly, they're going to collapse. And what they're hoping is that other people will believe them, and then it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And when this happens, then the bears will get money. So people don't like them because they make their living off of very downbeat projections. I recently got a promotion, and I talked to my friend Mike about that. And I was kind of expecting him to be upbeat and real happy, but for some reason he was kind of sad and angry and very downbeat about my success, which is probably more common than you realize.
Mr. Shi was probably not thinking of Suffocated and those who mosh to its angry sounds when he said that artists should take the initiative to breathe with the people.
To mosh refers to a type of dancing that became popular in the late 1970s, early 1980s, where the dancers, instead of keeping away from each other and not bumping into each other, they would collide into each other on purpose. And they called it moshing. Apparently it comes from mashing, which is what you do with potatoes, or from smashing, which is what happens when cars crash into each other. They smash, or somebody gets punched in the face, they get smashed in the face. So in this sense, moshing refers to people colliding with each other when they're dancing. The term has been borrowed in computer science to refer to gathering information from multiple sources and then mashing them or moshing them into one display of information. And this has actually become very, very important way of working with data, because a lot of times the data will not be on just one place or some other place, but the value is combining the data in reasonable ways. And that's called moshing too. And so during heavy metal concerts, people will gather by the stage and do moshing, where they jump up and down in a violent manner, and they deliberately collide into the other dancers, and sometimes they even get hurt. But they seem to like it, and it also helps to relieve stress, and it makes them feel like they're actively engaged in the music. And a similar term is slam dancing, which is basically the same thing, but possibly a little bit more in an artistic way. I went to see a heavy metal concert a few months ago, and it was really good, and I wanted to go to the MOSH pit and dance around. But as soon as I got there, people started smashing into me, and I was going to whack one of them with my elbow. As a matter of fact, I did. And then he whacked me in the face and go, "Dude," like that. And I finally decided that this was just a little too violent for me. So I left and let them mosh to themselves. So I went to this heavy metal concert with my friend John, and then we went to the mosh pit, and then I moshed him with my elbow, and he was really upset. He thought, I thought you were my friend. And it's okay, it's just part of the whole thing. Mosh me right back. And he did. He moshed me right in my ear. But that's slam dancing. That's moshing. If you don't want to do it, then stay out of the pit. ESL-fullsteamahead.com